How is it going, folks? And welcome to Booze and Chill's Buzzcast podcast. And in today's episode, we're going to walk down memory lane and remember those times when we first were able to buy alcohol legally and how it felt to get ID'd. Those mixed feelings you got when you were younger and they were asking you for the ID. And we're going to talk about that and how it makes one feel. Does it make you feel proud because you still got it, going on, or do you get maybe slightly offended because the years have not been kind to you? That kind of situation. That's what we're going to talk about in this today's podcast episode. So let's go. Those good old days when you first, once again started buying booze legally, where you didn't have to sneak into that high school party or that college party, or maybe for some of us paid like a little over, well, more than you're supposed to for that one guy to buy it for you. And in reality, they were just overpricing you just so they can keep a little extra for themselves. That kind of situation. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. First time getting ID'd, guys. We know when you were younger, well, obviously you couldn't afford to buy alcohol because the drinking age. Now, also keep in mind that back in the days, 21 was not the drinking age. The 21 thing, I don't remember when that started. For those of you who do know, please leave it in the comments in the YouTube video podcast section. Or if you're listening in, head on over. If you're listening into the Spotify, please head on over to the YouTube channel. Maybe let me know there, or vice versa. And 21 was not always the drinking age, but those were back then, right? But the drinking age back then was 18 years old. But even then, you still have to wait, right? You still have to wait. And then when that day does come, when that 18-year-old you finally is able to buy cigarettes, beer, and porn. By porn, I mean Playboy. Porn's free, right? Unless you're those people that have subscriptions, in which case you're an idiot. But anyways, for those of you who are wondering and who are watching the video podcast and wondering what the hell this here is a Irish coffee, which video of that is coming this coming Friday. And look out for that, guys. That's going to be fucking cool. It's an interesting one. And I can tell you, it's tasty. But yes, getting to that age, back in the days, well, me back in the days, and for the older crowd who are watching and or listening, when you reach that age, or even like now, the whole 21-year-old thing, legal age drinking thing, you reach that age and you're finally able to, purchase alcohol legally. And I don't remember much of that. I don't remember much because, like I was mentioning back then, you had ways. One had ways. And that's bad, right? It's bad. But yeah, some of us had ways to go around and actually get our hands on this stuff, right? We would get our hands on it one way or another because we were young, we were dumb, and we just wanted to drink, right? We just wanted to be cool, man. And that's exactly what we did. We found a way to get it. But then, like I mentioned, comes that day where you can get it legally, and then I guess coming from a perspective where I was able to get it, again, not a good thing, right? Not a good thing to be drinking at such a young age. I do not, what's the word? It's not promote. I don't condone drinking at a young age. I've been saying it's bad, right? But when one, in this case me, was able to, again, crash these places that just so happened to have drinks around, you know, and being a little, a little punk. I mean, till this day, I'm still a punk, dude. Getting these alcoholic beverages, and then comes the day where I'm able to buy it legally. It kind of was not a big deal, but at the same time, it was weird. You know what I mean? Because when I was kind of like being sneaky about it, it was weird not to be sneaky. You know what I mean? Because we were young punk kids, and we were, go to these places again who that had uh alcohol, and it was just weird. It was just weird not being not having to hide it. I mean, so as far as like my experience, not exactly, again, the biggest deal. But I mean, for some people, and I think nowadays, uh people are much more, how do I put it? People have a lot on their mind. People are just there's a lot of that anxiety stuff, which I guess I'm part of that too. But there's a lot of that. There's just a lot going on nowadays. That let me just have a sip of this. And yeah, there's a lot going on, and people just have a lot of feelings. You know what I mean? There's just so much going on in the world right now that just people have just so much to say and a lot to feel. Right? It's not like back then where it's you know I I I I guess in a sense, like, it was a lot more tougher back then, I think, as far as like being, what's it called, just coming up back then. I think everybody who's watching and listening to this kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. I mean, it's not we were not raised the same way back then as we're being raised. Well, as kids are being raised today. And anybody will tell you, dude. Anybody will tell you. Anybody will fucking tell you. And so, yeah, so because of that, people have a lot more feelings, like I said, a lot more to say. So, like, for instance, there's a lot of self, what's the word I'm looking for? People who have issues with like how they look and stuff like that. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. People like that, who take a lot of pride in their appearance and stuff like that. Um, those people going out to buy alcoholic beverages for the first time, and then getting not being asked for their ID. That is kind of, I think that's kind of like a low blow to those kind of people, because they're going to be to them, they think like, well, aren't you going to ask me for the ID? You know what I mean? Like, doesn't this face look young to you? That type of situation. And that kind of stuff that I'm trying to talk about. Like, there's people in out there in the world that kind of take offense to like some of the small things in life, right? Because again, a lot going on, a lot of shit going on in the world. So people tend to take things a little more differently than others, right? Not everybody's the same. Um, and my situation now, it depends. It depends for me where I go. Like, it does depend where I go. Like, I did a video where I reviewed what's it called, wings from that's in front of this what's called is it's called Variety. It's right by my house. Shout out to Dog Fries and Variety. Shout out to them. They're right down here, right down the neighborhood. And those people don't ID me because, like, they know me. They've seen me go over and over again. So it's like, hey, it's just a regular, right? Plus, I am at the age. But there's places For instance, top of my head. Oh, just in fact, just today, I went today to go get the ingredients. One of the ingredients in here, I'm gonna go ahead and say Guinness. I'm gonna take a sip. I picked up the get 6 pack of Guinness today, and they ID'd me. You know what I mean? Sometimes that again, it depends on the persons that are charging you, stuff like that. I guess there's a lot of factors. I believe, right? I'm not one to like get all offended by it. You know, people age, people get older. You know, it's natural. It happens. It's inevitable, man. That's that kind of stuff. So yeah, it depends on where I go. They'll ask me for the ID or not. But some people take that a little more heavier than how I would have taken. I don't give a shit. Like I said, they don't know me. I might look younger, I might look older to them, whatever the case is. Some people, don't take it as lightly. And there's that. And then there's this, and then there's stories. I can't remember one right now, but I mean, so there's got to be stories out there. For those of you who are watching in the YouTube channel, put a story. The first time you guys got ID'd, how did you feel? Some people tend to feel anxious, like I mentioned, fucking excited. I will say that I was a little excited. You know what I mean? To not have to like I was saying in the very beginning, I didn't have to hide anything. So that was the biggest relief, and that was why I was excited. When you get older and you finally hit that legal age, and you're like, I can go buy as much beer and buy whenever I want, and this and that. So I get that excitement, and yeah, I had that exact same excitement as well. And what's it called? A little bit humorous as well, because in the sense where my parents, shout out to my parents, what's it called? They are not the biggest drinkers. Till this day, they still ask me like where did you even get that? And then I have to remind them that they do have other family members who also drink. So I got that from them, I guess. I guess you could say. And so yeah, my parents are not the biggest drinkers, and then that day comes and they're like, I think I might have felt it. I felt their vibe that day. They were a little, being that I was still young, right? There I was still kind of young. And so I understand why they were worried. As a parent, I can understand that now. But you're older. Not really much to can do. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was a little bit of humor for me, because being that they were a lot more they held back a little bit towards that. They do have a drink every now and then. They have like just a couple, but I am the heavier drinker of the family, and that just, again, I get it as a parent, that worries them. But thanks to my tolerance, I've managed for all these years, right? And I don't fucking overdo it, right? But I just manage. I just manage. And again, I understand that, but to me that was kind of funny, because most of my life I was kind of just I'm purposely upsetting him. Going back to the whole being a punk thing, right? So sorry, guys. Hey, but y'all love me still, right? I think you do. In some way, I think they do. But yeah, that part was funny for me, and I'm sure there's like people out there who have a similar story, who can relate. I mean, and another one is whenever, again, depending where I would go. I mean, the person that is charging you and whatever, there's always that particular person. It's usually an older person. Um, they're a lot more older, so they look at you like a little kid, right? They look at a little kid, and I think I might have heard a story somewhere that they refused to sell to somebody, even when they ID'd them. I mean, because there is such thing as fake IDs. So there's those situations as well. I have not been in those, but I mean, it'd be interesting though. I'm gonna have another sip of this Irish coffee. Ah, nice, creamy delish, guys. Again, look out for that video. And yeah, there's people like that. There's people out there in the world who will refuse to sell you alcoholic beverages, even if you're at the age, and just because you have a face like this, like that. I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm not as young as I feel. Makes any sense? But I mean, whatever. That's another one. Age to me is just a number, you know. But what does it have to do with that, Raymond? Well, the fact that again, there's people who are like those crazy fucking pictures of what is it? There's like these Asian chicks or Asian moms, or was it grandmas? I think it was both. They're like in their 50s or 60s or some shit, and they're take it's like a photo of the mother and the daughter, and then the mother looks the same age as the daughter. That kind of situation. That's what I mean by age is just a number. And again, that goes back to someone who's like they're for instance the 50s, but look like they're in the 20s, you know, or there's a lot of people here that I see they're like in their early 20s but look like 12. In fact, one of them comes to mind is my niece. Shout out to Andrea, who just turned 21 not too long ago. So that's one experience. She's new to the whole drinking world and stuff like that, so she's still kind of like roaming, finding you know the one drink, I guess you could say. um but yeah, the IDing thing, it's it's different for everybody. It's different for everybody. And like I said, everybody experiences differently. Nervousness, excitement, humorous. Like in my case, where I just making my parents worry was just like just for kicks for me. Again, that's just a punk kid in me, or the punk in general. 'Cause to this day, it's just who I am. And yeah, that's just how that is. And yeah, just being ID'd is just one of those. What are they called? What are they called? The rite of passage. The rite of passage to adulthood, right? Even though I'm not saying reaching drinking age is the opening the door or setting your foot onto adulthood, but it's part of it, the fun parts of it. And yeah, it's the rite of passage to that side of the world, that side of adulting. Because as far as I know, as far as anybody who knows, and anyone who is an adult will tell you, adulting adulting sucks. Adulting sucks. And I'm going a little off topic here, but I just want to say this. Now that I'm an adult, and I'm adulting and doing adult stuff. Uh, I realize that the secret to adulting is you have no fucking idea what you are doing or saying, for that matter. The secret to adulting is just going with the flow, because everybody has a different way of living, because everyone has made their own path. And that's exactly what adulting in life is just figuring out your position, your situation, and if that works out, that's the route you're gonna go, right? Again, a little off topic, but thought maybe I'd throw uh, some wise, some some wise something in there, something worth something, right? See what I mean about not knowing what's to do or say? There you go. But yeah, that's figured that out. I cracked the code, guys. I cracked the code, and then comes the day you get to drink booze legally. Well, that just eases adulting, to put it that way. Because again, uh, just life itself and the little things that just kind of annoy you and stress you out. It's an awesome way to just or awesome time and or day to just kind of sit back, relax, chill, put your feet up, and just crack open a cold one, or in this case, fucking I forget the name, Irish coffee, or Irish coffee. Oh, so good. But yeah, being ID'd, again, the rite of passage, and again, different for absolutely everybody. Once again, guys, if you're still sticking around for this YouTube uh, video podcast and or audio podcast, let me know. If you are listening on the audio, just the audio, I mean, head on over to the video podcast and put in y'all's first time getting ID'd. How did you all feel? And yeah, what was your reaction? How did you react? Because like I mentioned, was not really much of a big deal for myself, because like I was mentioning in the very beginning, um, kind of already got my hands on it. I was already somewhat. I'm not saying I was an expert or anything like that, but I have already tried a few things here and there. So I was like, whatevs, right? I mean, like I was saying, it was just the weird thing of not having to sneak anything around. I guess that was the only thing that I had to get kind of used to. But after a while, it just kind of just like an adult, just going into whatever store, liquor store, uh, gas station, supermarket, whatever, just grabbing it, walking walking with pride, But when back then, right, once it started kind of like settling in and sinking in that like, okay, I can do this without having to, having any consequences, right? So I was just like walking like all badass, right? Again, I'm pretty sure that's everybody, once you reach that, excuse me, that once you reach that age, again, where you're able to go and purchase your alcohol by yourself. And yeah, strolling through memory lane, I think about it. It was fun. It was fun. Um, I mean, the whole channel itself, the whole podcast. Well, not so much the podcast. The podcast is it's much the audio podcast is much more. It goes, I guess, a little deeper. I get a little more. I open up a little more. The YouTube channel kind of is just mostly based on more the drinking, right? Because it's much more. You see more of the visual, what it is that I'm drinking and whatnot. The podcast, again, much more wider, much more broader, a little bit more deeper, stuff like that. But Yeah, thinking about it now, it was fun. And again, this kind of where it led to where I am today. Um, Again, I do not. Um, I was about to say consume. That's not the word. I do not condone uh, drinking at young age. At a young age, but because of that, again, that's kind of why where I'm at today. Um, got my hands on stuff again at a young age. Then came the legal drinking age. That just made it much more easier. So I managed to try even much more drinks, and yeah, no regrets. That's kind of my thing in life. No regrets. No regrets. Because again, it was fun. It was a fucking fun roller coaster ride. And I mentioned earlier that bought myself a Guinness here, and Guinness was again the one that kind of opened my horizons, which again would led me to want to do all of this. So again, a little off subject, I know, but that's kind of yeah, that's kind of why where we are today, talking about first time getting ID'd and how exciting, nervous, and or weird, I guess, in my situation, and humorous again, uh, because of the whole, my parents not liking the fact that I was able to just purchase it whenever I wanted to. But yeah, it was fun times. Those are fun times, and like I was saying, the whole Guinness thing. Um, yeah, the drinking at a young age again, not good, but that's what happened. Do not condone it, but again, drinking at a young age and being introduced to the one of the ingredients in here, the Guinness, was why we are here today. Uh, Once again, no regrets because again, it was a fun roller coaster ride. I've had a lot of fun. I met a lot of people, um, made a lot of friends, and just mostly had a lot of had a lot of fun. Because I mean, to get introduced to as many drinks as I have tried, um, you know, you got to go through a lot of meet a lot of people and stuff like that. So because of trying so many drinks, I was able to meet a lot of people. Again, I make a lot of friends. So fun times, guys, fun times. But yeah, I don't think there's much else to say about this one other than whatever it is that you guys have to say about that. Leave it in the comments, guys. Your all's first time getting ID'd. Was it fun? Was it not? Was it funny? Was it exciting? Were you looking forward to it? Were you not? You didn't want to become an adult. You want to stay a fucking Peter Pan and fucking live in Neverland and never fucking grow up. Leave it in the comments, guys. And if you did enjoy today's podcast, please go ahead and boop that like button in the YouTube podcast video podcast channel. And if you are listening in just the audio, go ahead and please like it. I'm pretty sure you can like it somewhere in there. And yeah, again, boop that like button. Subscribe if you have not. If you are a fan of what it is that I talk about, which is beers of all kinds and styles, food, movies, and cocktails, such as this one here. Or if you're a fan of podcasts, specifically this podcast, go ahead, follow the podcast right at Spotify. And that is it for that, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I will see you guys in the next one. And remember, if you keep watching, I'm going to keep drinking. I don't remember I've been saying that for the past other podcasts, but since I got a drink in my hand, There we go. Cheers, guys.